Well, we've had a pretty good week so far. We decided to go inside. We went on inside last week on Wednesday and Thursday, mainly because of the heat. Players really worked hard yesterday, and I just think that, this takes a whole toll on you after a while, and if they're not used to it by now, they're not going to get used to it. I think that, our players have really approached the week, the right way this week in terms of trying to improve and get better. When you make a decent grade on the first test, that doesn't mean you should relax. Every time you get a test, you're going to get tested on a different level, different information. You got to prepare yourself right, do the right thing so that you can use wherever you were as the standard to improve from, and that's certainly what we wanted to do. And, it takes preparation. And I know everybody likes to focus on the result, but the fact of the matter is when we all go step on the scale and see how much we weigh, we either get a good result or a bad result. But that's just the result. Everything that you did before you got on there determines the result. Whether you ate right, did the right things, whatever. And that's the same thing with our players. If they want to get the right result, they got to do the right things. And, good preparation, which is what I said on Monday, is how you have a chance to beat teams like this, because they're going to execute, they're going to do what they do, they're going to do it well, they're going to play with effort, they're going to play with toughness, and they're not going to beat themselves. So that's the kind of game we got to get ready to play. Injury-wise, Courtney practiced some today. DJ has practiced the last 2 days. Wesley Neighbors practiced today. Mark was in gear today for some of the stuff and did some running and all that. I just don't know if Mark's going to have enough practice time, even because he's getting close. But I don't know if he can get enough practice time in to be ready to play in the game or not. Jalston Fowler, what color shirt did he have on out there today? Red. What does that mean? He's a defensive player, right? But we are using him, decided to use him a little bit as a, sort of a fullback type of guy in short yardage and stuff like that. So he is learning a little bit of some of the stuff for short yardage and goal line and, things like that. And he will learn a few of the plays offensively because of that. Michael Merrow has decided to transfer. He wanted to go closer to home. I'm very close with his family. His dad played for me at Toledo, and I recruited, several of his uncles and his dad years ago. He's a fine young man. He's a good player. And I think this was really personal issues, family issues, that he really wanted to go closer to home. And, we want our players to be happy. We want to do the right things by them. We did everything we could to help Michael be successful here. So, we're looking forward to a great game, on Saturday against a really good team. I think when you play teams like that, you really find out where you are because we'll be tested in many, many ways. And, I'm sure the environment will be great. Saturday's game will be great. And, I would like to say this, that I don't know if it's a tradition or what, but, I talked before about I think the University of Alabama has a tremendous amount of class. And I think, Dr. Witt has done a fantastic job of making this a very well nationally respected institution. And, our football program in our stadium is probably the largest window that anybody ever looks at the state of Alabama and maybe the University of Alabama. And I just don't think there's any place for booing anywhere in college football. And that includes booing the other team. I mean, we can cheer for our team. The atmosphere is great. Everybody is great. This is a class program with class people that have been there for 45 years and done wonderful things for college football, the game of football, and a lot of people over a 45-year period. And I think it would be a damn crying ass shame if we boo them when they come out of the stadium like we did last week's team. Because I just don't understand that. We can cheer for our team because what our team does doesn't have anything else to do with the other team. And I just, somebody told me that, and that kind of made me say, I didn't even know that happened. But that's certainly not what I think a class institution and a class place should do to their own or to anyone else.
Will we see Brandon Moore this week? And if so, it looks like he's been practicing nose guard, defensive end. Can you talk about the versatility on the defensive line?
Well, he's been practicing mostly at defensive end, now. He will be able to play. He's not suspended for the game. He is practicing and alternating with the twos, and there may be some occasion where he'll get in the game. He's made nice progress. He's a young player that has a bright future, and he's certainly made a lot of improvement, but we would like to see him play. Whether the opportunity presents itself or not probably just depends on the rest of the players in the game.
Is there anything you can tell us about what the secondary and violations involved?
No, we never say that.
Right.
You can ask compliance. They won't tell you either, but you can go ask them.
Right. And also, you've yet to go public with who the agent or agents were that were involved with Marcel Darius.
Who has to go public?
No, you've never called out the publicly named.
I don't even know who they are.
Do you want to know?
I'm sure it's all in the report, but again, you can ask our compliance officers. I don't know what you're allowed to get and what you're not allowed to get. I'm not trying to keep any information from you. I've heard some names kicked around, but I'm not going to kick them around on, national TV. There's a process to investigate what they did and whether they violated any rules, and I have confidence that if they did, the people that are in charge of executing the punishment against them will do it.
Coach, last week after the game, you talked about particularly improving from week 1 to week 2. I just wondered if you would expound upon that, what you've seen thus far in a couple of practices this week, and have they satisfied you to a degree in what you were looking for in the improvement from week 1 to week 2?
Well, I think that, it's difficult to evaluate practice because each day in practice we're taking on a different situation of what we want to try to accomplish in that particular game. So until tomorrow, everything we're doing is a new situation. Today it was third down in red area, and that's where we spent a lot of time. Reviewed a little bit what we did yesterday. I was not totally pleased with the way we finished practice yesterday, even though we started out pretty good. We kind of ran out of gas out there. And today was a lot better, but the conditions weren't as challenging. But I think today was a little better.
Coach, with Mark, will it be could it go up to be a game time decision, or will you expect to make that by Friday?
Well, we'll know. I mean, if he can't practice tomorrow, if the guys can't practice on Thursday, you usually can't play in the game. But we're not pushing Mark back in the game. All right, we're not pushing Mark back in this game. We're not jeopardizing his future, his career, or anything else. And until he can go out on the field and practice and gain confidence in himself, as well as his physical condition, we not do that. And if there's anybody in the world that could play without practicing, it's probably Mark. All right, because he's a student of the game. He watches everything, he understands everything, he knows everything, and he's a tremendous competitor, and he's got a lot of experience, but we would never put him in that situation.